Hey guys, Miru here to come with my newest video. So, is it just me, or is that the Human Torch?
The game. It's from May 1941. I know because I was there. Now I'm going to ask you again. Where am I?
Captain Rogers.
Who are you?
So as you can tell, that was the ending scene to the film I'm reviewing this week, Captain America, the First Avenger. Now, this film is basically a setup story for anyone that doesn't know the origin of Captain America, which is most of the richer world, but also it's just mainly setting up for the Avengers of the plot stuff that's left over from Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor, all building up to the Avengers, which I'll get onto that in my time. So basically, this story takes place back in the 40s, the early 40s, when World War II is happening, and there's this kid. Well, it's not a kid. It's a fully grown man, but he really looks like a kid, played by Chris Evans, whose name is Steve Rogers, who later becomes Captain America. And by this point, he wants to do his bit for the country, as basically most people want to do, but they wouldn't let him sign up for the army because he's not the strongest or the most fit person alive, I would say. So he signs up for this super soldier serum, and of course that turns him into Captain America. So he has to face off against the Nazi science division called Hydra, which is not real, by the way, it's completely made up. So he does some just basic shit like that, and then the story carries on. So what did I like about this movie? This isn't really part of the movie, so I say they don't mention this or anything, but Captain America's shield, it's made from two compounds, neither of them exist. One of them is adamantium, which of course is a Wolverine reference, but the other one is vibranium, which I was extremely happy to hear that they mentioned it. Because I'm not sure if many of you heard of this guy, but there's a character in the Marvel mythology called the Black Panther. He's my favourite superhero of all time, and a big part of his story is that he has a mountain full of vibranium, which he uses for weapons and all that. So that was always good to see. Another thing I liked was there's a bit of an Easter egg in the movie when they're like, when Captain America's touring the country. What happens is the fact that comics are handed out to little kids of them, obviously, but the comics are actually what looks like the real original Captain America comics, which was always very good to see as a nice little nod to Marvel readers. And then I like the casting in this movie. Not a big fan of Chris Evans as Captain America, just I don't really see him in the role. But the person I really like in this movie is Hayley Atwell. She plays Peggy Carter, I remember her name, and she's Captain America's love interest, but she doesn't just sit around and all that, she actually does stuff. She shoots, she fights, she's far from stereotypical. She did a really good job, but it's a shame that he left it behind in the past. But anyway, this story is setting up for the sequel, which actually is far superior, no offense to that, but I'm going to be reviewing that in a bit. Well, not today, but oh well. So let's get on to what I didn't like. I've already mentioned before, I think that you shouldn't have more than one superhero role per acting career. No offense to Ben Affleck as Batman, because I haven't seen him yet. It's still 2014. But, oh well. What I also don't like is that it give you no indication at all when it's happening at the start of the movie. It's just like, oh, we're going to pop him in 2010, but now we're going to go straight back to the 1940s. So they didn't really explain it, which I didn't really like. And then I kind of felt that the final thing I have wrong with this thing is before the actual shield pops up, or the triangle shield, not the original circular shield, which is iconic and all that, but before the shield pops up, there's already two shield fake outs. One of them is quite early on in the movie where he's fighting the street. He pulls out a bin lid, but that doesn't defend him or anything, and then his friend comes along and saves him, which I'll get onto in another review. Sorry guys if I just spoiled anything for you, but oh well. And then the other thing is that as soon as he becomes Captain America, he has to chase down this guy on foot. Then this guy gets a gun out, but then Captain America pulls a car door off and uses that as a shield, so he's like that, and there's a bit of shield fake outs there. So this isn't a bad movie per se. The sequel was better, in my opinion, anyway. I wanted to get this done because I wanted to do a Marvel movie, and also this was a viewer request. So I gave this a 5.5 out of 10, meaning it's just meh. It's not the best, not the worst, but it's still a pretty good watch, I'd say. If you're watching all the Marvel movies, make sure you watch it. It's not missable by any means. So anyway, what movie would you like me to review next? And have you seen Captain America: The First Avenger? What did you think of it, or did you think the sequel was better? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next.